Alright, CSS battle time. Let's make this happen. I should probably set a timer. I feel like this one could get out of hand, like I do with all of them. Alright, we actually have true black in this one. That's cool. When we have solid black, I like to see if I can use it without actually putting in the color, because it's the default for like borders and such like things. Now, borders and box shadows, that's where it's the default. It looks like a little like observatory or a camera or something. So if I do a radial gradient, I have to declare that black color, which isn't the end of the world, because I feel like we could do a radial gradient right here. The white and the black could be like the HTML radial gradient. Then you get the orange for free. And then we just need to make a black box. And there's a couple ways I could do this. I could either do this as a black box and then do a box shadow that comes up and then another one that comes up again, you know, and just shrink the radius and then sit them up, because this black box that's the body could be however long down. But then I'd have to do, I'd have border radius, and box shadow. I could do a radial gradient. No, that works with the radial gradient. That works real easy with the radial gradient. That works so easy with the radial gradient. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Let's go. Oh, but then I have to declare a background on... No, I don't, actually, for the body. For the body, I can do it all with the box shadows. I just make the body the size I want it to be, and then shadow. And what I think I'll do is I will make the body the orange size of the orange thing. If this is a radial gradient, though, the body will have that background, unless I don't put it on there. It'll be a transparent one. Let's not overthink it. Let's just get our background down. Background. Radial. There we go. Do our usual 1Q to circumvent right typing out circle. Let's do our white color. 10 pixels. It's not much. Let's go black. Oh, actually, we can shorthand it to like 80. Oh, we need to throw in a 0. And then we can get our orange out there. And then we get everything covered. Okay, let's see where we're at. It is not perfectly centered. I'm too high, so I need to shift it down. I wonder if I put in the body, if I can get it to shift down that way. You know, like with the overflow. Oh, but it won't want to overflow. All right, let's just see what happens if we outline the body. Okay. And if we, well, I guess I could margin this. No, I can't margin it. All right. Let's margin this one. Let's start with that, and then like -50. Yeah, okay, so the negative on the body is where we start shifting things down. So let's do 10. Ooh. $40. Okay. Are we too big? Yeah, we're too big. Okay, so I'm looking at the wrong circle. But if my idea works, drop this down to 75. No, is that white dot not centered in the circle? Ugh. You gotta be kidding me. Well, that is real disappointing. That's what I'm seeing, right? So yeah. Because at 70, we're not big enough. Well, shoot. The white dot's not centered in the circle, so border isn't going to work either. We almost... I think box shadow. I could do an inset box shadow because then you can shift it up, down, left, and right, you know? Alright, well, maybe I do everything with box shadow. If I make it... Okay. The other thing I could do is keep the radial gradient and then shape it. That works. So I could put a radial gradient on like another element that's the white and then black, and then just have the orange background on the HTML. All right. What do I do? I can do box shadow, but I'd need the background. And we won't get a circular box shadow unless we have a circular element, so I gotta get rid of the radial gradient. Hi, Timber. Okay, so what that tells me is we're going to have to... I'm going to go like this for right now. HTML is just going to be orange. Great. Okay. The body's getting the border radius. And yeah, we should be good on that. Yeah, I do need a 0 there. Okay. Radius. And then I could, I mean, if I put a border radius on it, I could do a radial gradient. I think if I do... I need a third element to be that square on the bottom. Because what I can do is I can have like -50 on that. And then the border radius, I can just have one border radius, 2 inch, right? And if I extend this far enough out, you don't see the curve. Yeah, there we go, like 90. As long as it's going to have to be 2 digits. So what'll happen, right now it's orange. So we need a different background. Oh yeah, but if I do... It's going to be pill-shaped if I do the box shadow inset now. So I do need a full circle. And I need it to be an actual circle. Okay. Okay. If I do the radial gradient on the body, and I do white to black, I can position it. No, I already lost my train of thought. If I do a circle, I can do an offset box shadow inset. And then I need to make squares, which will mean undoing the border radius. But if I keep it a square, get rid of the border radius, keep it a square, I can't do a radial gradient. I need to get that in my head because it's not centered. So if I don't have a border radius, the radial gradient won't work. And I'm trying to make sure I do one or the other, not both. Okay, so let's make this a circle. All right, that's not quite right. Let's go 80. There we go. We're going to go back to 125. That's right. Let's drop 70. 60. Okay, that's the radius we want. This better not be a perfect circle after all. Like, What if I was just confused? Let's not go down that road. All right. I'm gonna think about this. I think I can clean this up after the fact, but let's just get it on the screen. Let's see what my time is. I have 5 minutes left. Yeah, I need to just get this on the screen. I can think about it later. 0. Yeah, that's all we need. Okay. Okay. Why did I do a radial gradient? Do the radial gradient. What am I thinking? I have a border right. Oh my god, I'm so confused. I went with the radial gradient. I was gonna do a box shadow inset, right? Radial gradient will not work. It will work here. It will work here. I just have to say 50%, 45%. Let's do pixels. Like, was this what I was thinking? 70? I hope it's 70. 70. Yeah, 70 looks good. Okay, so let's get rid of our outline. We can see this now. Okay. Okay. That's what I should have done from the start. Because that's still looking good. Wait, no, it's not. It's not. It's not looking good. But let's add the orange color stop. I think this is gonna ruin it. That's right. I can't do that. I have to keep the border radius. Okay, our margins are showing, and yeah, I have to keep the border radius because if we make this big enough, small enough, yeah. Okay, we got to keep the border radius. Okay, get your head straight. It's not a centered circle. That's what's making me go through all of this. All right, so we have that. We have that. Throw this on there. What we want to do is, if I could, all right, let's get this to be just the body. Let's get a p tag going. I just don't want the border radius to carry down to a paragraph tag. Hopefully, what I can do is give it a height. I'm okay with it having that width. I can work with that. 50%. It's going to have the same radial gradient. That's okay. Let's give it a box shadow. See if we have to do anything with the background at all. I don't know if I do. We're going to go 0. We're going to go 100 pixels down. Yes. Okay, we're getting something here. And it is actually that black. Okay. This is the one part that's like working. Alrighty. Okay, we actually need this to be more like 80%. Oop, what are we seeing? Okay, it's okay. Because that just shifted down more. So what we want this to be is 75, 65. Wait, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing the same radial gradient. It's too big now. Let's go 60. And we'll just do an extra. Yeah, we gotta keep it at like 50 so that it doesn't show up. Oh, why is that doing clipping half the circle? Because now it's there. Okay, great. We're good. Okay, that's better. I think that's the happy medium, actually. I don't know why I'm using a percentage. I probably could just use like a set pixel value. Like that. And we're good. Okay, and that's one less character. Alright, so 70 pixels down for that one, because I'd like to go the whole way, but I can't. Okay, so we got to do a second one for that. It's a whole extra box shadow, but you know. There's our time. That's alright. I'll just wrap this up and call it good. It's not beautiful. It's not great. We are going to do another one that's going to be 0. And it's going to be 100 pixels down. But we're going to put a little bit of inner thing to it and make it orange. Is it just not? Is it on body? Okay, why am I not seeing it? 20? Oh, because it's the orange color. Let's change the color. Okay, there, now we can see it. Okay, so it is expanding, but it's that orange color, and it's underneath them all. So this needs to be the first one. And it's too much. 10, it's way too much. Why is it? Oh, I know why it's clipping. It's clipping. Okay, so we're going to do -10 and -15, and we're going to move it way down. Okay, that's good. Now we want the final one. 0, 150 pixels, 0, and then we want it to be like 20 pixels wider. All right, there we go. It's gonna be 15 pixels wider, and it's gonna be like 180, 195. Okay, let's hit submit. Let's see how far from 100% we are. I feel like I'm gonna get that dreaded 99.9. I don't like this. Okay, we're at 100%. Thank goodness. Let's do a little bit of refinement just so that like later on down the road it's not so hard. 100 pixels is 25 VW. 70 pixels, no clue. I'm not changing it to Q. 15 is 5 VH. 135, that's divisible by 15. 2 is for 30, so times 4 would be 8, which would be 9. Times 5 is 45 VH. Weird math. 195. Is that divisible by 15 too? I feel like it's 60 more than 135, so it should be, right? But 60 is 4. So if that's 45, it's a 65 VH. Hey, I can math every once in a while. This one's 5M and then 10 pixels. I got nothing good for that. Should we do Q? Woo. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Yeah, I'm just leaving that. That doesn't even look good. Okay. Submit. We're at 286 now. Good enough. It's not a great... This isn't a great solution. Where would I go differently? I would... so, moving the radial gradient... Okay, so you have to have border radius because of the off-center. You've got, no matter what, on a radial gradient, you're setting the circle based on a center point. So you could do a secondary radial gradient, and maybe there's something fancy you could do between the... something you could do where you, like, hide this first thing on the body. Do it on the H... It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to do that. Or maybe you have it show up on the body and not on the HTML or something like that. Nah, I don't know. I don't know, actually. That doesn't make sense to me either, to do it that way. I got a little turned around with this. That circle not being centered, it really, really threw me off there. Um, so we're at 206 characters. That was fun though. I kind of like that it wasn't centered because it made it a much more complex puzzle. Like I was going to just go straight box shadows, like I did here, but without that extra element because I could have a square element and just box shadow off of that. And so having to adjust that meant using a border radius, which meant you had to use something that didn't have a border radius to get those square portions done. I probably could have done, the other thing I could think about is making the border radius squared at the bottom, making that shape, and then, yeah, the box shadows are at the top, so that wouldn't work either. I could have done a box shadow inset on the bottom for this one, but I think that would have been more characters than just having an extra box shadow on a square element. I think maybe making the P the size of this thing and box shadowing up may have been better. The other thing I'm noticing though is also the box shadow had 0 left and right offset. We're only changing the expansion and this, but we are doing that across the same element. So there's no attribute quality that I could see of using that, getting that to apply differently. Um, yeah, maybe we just size elements instead of doing a box shadow. You could give them all a different width and different margin. Nah, that doesn't work. Hey, I found another space we can get rid of. Curious. Cool. I look forward to seeing how you guys solve it. But hope you're having a good time, and I'll catch you later.